Hello, and welcome back to Weirdest World. And before we dive in, stay until the very end of this video because I'm going to share a weird fact about these theories that almost no one talks about, and it might change how you see the entire phenomenon. If you've ever wondered whether we're alone, this story isn't just about aliens out there. It's about what might already be happening right here, under our noses, in secret labs, and in memories people can't forget. Alien-human hybrid theories argue that non-human intelligences have been conducting genetic experiments, blending human DNA with their own to produce beings designed for survival, integration, or control. The idea sounds like science fiction, but the testimonies behind it span decades, cultures, and a surprising pattern of repeated detail. Mainstream science demands physical proof and finds none, yet the persistence and emotional force of these accounts demand attention. In 1957, Brazilian farmer Antonio Villas Boas reported being taken aboard a craft, subjected to procedures, and forced into a sexual encounter with a female humanoid who communicated non-verbally and seemed intent on reproduction. Villas Boas later described symptoms like nausea and skin irritation, which some pointed to as contamination or exposure. While skeptics dismissed the tale, it became an early template connecting abduction and reproductive purpose. In 1961, Betty and Barney Hill's New Hampshire case introduced many to the concept of abduction: missing time, clinical examinations, telepathic communication, and a star map Betty later described under hypnosis. The Hills didn't report hybrid children, but their case normalized the structure of abduction narratives and primed public imagination for reproductive elements that surfaced later. By the 1980s and 1990s, researchers like Dr. David M. Jacobs at Temple University and Bud Hopkins collected hundreds of testimonies describing gamete extraction, embryo implantation, and hybrid children, small, frail beings with large eyes and human-like features. Jacobs argued these hybrids were being raised and socialized to pass in human society. Hopkins described abductees shown hybrid infants and urged to bond with them emotionally, a pattern that suggests integration beyond mere biology. Some high-profile claims added public drama. The 1989 Linda Cortile episode, reported as levitation from an apartment with alleged eyewitnesses including security guards, became a rallying point for claims that encounters could be public and dramatic. Those details remain contested, yet they illustrate how hybrid narratives can cross private experience into shared events. Ancient texts resonate with modern hybrid motifs. Sumerian tales of the Anunnaki, deities who shaped humanity, are read by ancient astronaut proponents as proto-records of genetic manipulation. Mainstream historians interpret these as myth, but the thematic echo is clear. Outside intelligences influencing human origins is a recurrent human story. In recent years, the conversation evolved. In 2018, Dr. Young-Hae Chi at Oxford's Oriental Institute proposed that hybrids might be created to help humanity adapt to environmental collapse, reframing hybrids as potential adapters. Public and academic reception was skeptical, yet the idea shows how hybrid narratives adapt to contemporary anxieties like climate change. Skeptics rightly point to alternative explanations: sleep paralysis, hypnagogic imagery, suggestion under hypnosis, false memory formation, and cultural contagion. Crucially, there is no verified physical evidence, no peer-reviewed confirmation of alien DNA, no independently authenticated hybrid tissue, and no recognized hybrid organism documented by credible scientific bodies. That evidentiary gap keeps hybrids in the realm of testimony and belief. Still, the consistency of descriptions is notable. Abductees often share details. metallic clinical rooms, gestation tanks, or suspension systems, instruments without visible wiring, telepathic instruction, and beings who teach hybrids human speech and manner. Many report scenes where hybrids are placed with humans to form bonds, to learn emotions such as love, grief, or play. Debbie Jordan Cobble, identified in some texts as Kathy Davis, related encounters with beings almost fully human in appearance but subtly off, slightly larger eyes, unusual skin tones, an uncanny presence. Government secrecy feeds speculation. Project Blue Book logged thousands of UFO reports from 1952 to 1969, and subsequent declassifications and whistleblower testimonies have fueled claims of crash retrievals and classified programs. While none of these documents validate hybrid projects, the cultural reality of secrecy makes extraordinary claims seem plausible to some. Folklore echoes these themes. Celtic changeling tales, Japanese kappa stories, and other global myths describe outsiders interfering with human birth and lineage, leaving families to grapple with strange children. Whether those myths encode misunderstood medical conditions, social trauma, or something else, they resonate with modern hybrid accounts in tone and consequence. A family's certainty that something about their child is wrong, unexplainable, and emotionally devastating. Psychologically, hybrid narratives are powerful. Abductees report parental instincts toward hybrid infants, sorrow when separated, and repeated visits watching these beings grow and learn. Some describe hybrids attempting to mimic human emotions, practicing smiles, or asking what love feels like. This emotional component complicates reductive explanations. Even if a phenomenon is internally generated, its impact is real, shaping identity, community, and life choices. Communities of believers, such as those around so-called hybrid children narratives, have emerged. Figures like Bridget Nielsen portray hybrids as part of a spiritual and experiential reality, offspring in other environments who will eventually return to live openly among humans. Mainstream science rejects these ideas as unsupported, but their social power is undeniable. They offer meaning, belonging, and a destiny to followers. So, what is the evidence? We have hundreds of testimonies mentioning gamete extraction, embryo implantation, gestation tanks, hybrid nurseries, and the socialization of hybrid children. We have recurring phenomenology, clinical rooms, telepathy, and emotional bonding. We have researchers arguing for coordinated programs and skeptics arguing for psychosocial origins. We have zero authenticated biological proof. We have a world where secrecy and classified research could obscure facts or manufacture them. In that tension, hybrids persist because they address core questions about origin, agency, and what humanity might become. And here's the weird fact I promised you. Hybrids want us to explain feelings, like love and grief, not just as ideas, but as real experiences. People who've been abducted say these hybrids really pay attention to their faces. When asked to show affection, they watch closely, trying to copy those little expressions we all have. Whether literal or symbolic, that detail suggests the hybrid narrative isn't only biological engineering, but an experiment in human interiority, teaching empathy to beings created between species. Where does that leave us? For skeptics, hybrids are mythic constructs born from suggestibility, cultural storytelling, and psychological states. For others, they are a covert project shaping persons who can pass among us. Either way, the hybrid story forces us to rethink evidence, narrative, and how much mystery a society can hold. It raises ethical questions about personhood, consent, and what responsibilities humans would have toward beings of mixed origin. If this sparked your interest, hit like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment with your stance, skeptic, curious, or believer, and tell me which case you want us to investigate next. Because sometimes the weirdest world isn't out there. It's the one we're already living in.